I just want to say I'm number one. So I'm the first one up. It's a little nerve-wracking for me. In swim terms, I'm kind of the lead on the 4x100, so everything else is going to kind of come off of my pace. So hopefully you guys will get something out of this. But thank you for letting me be a part of today. Okay, I'm going to hit forward here. I don't know where to press. I'll just kind of, okay. All right, so my topic is going to be swim inside the lanes, think outside of it. Fun ideas to integrate sponsors into your social media efforts. And I'll just preface this. I believe, and based off of some of the research that I've done and my experience, and I'll talk a little bit about my experience, we underlove our sponsors. And so that is kind of the baseline of what I want to talk about today and what we can do about it. A little bit about me. More than 20 years now, but 15 years in the sports marketing environment. So I've worked for McDonald's. I've actually worked on 6 Olympics, was part of the Olympic Committee for 3 years. Very familiar with USA Swimming. Lived in Salt Lake City, was a part of 1996 through 2002. So I'm familiar with what everybody in this audience is going through. The last 7 years, I have been working, I started my own company called IOV Media. We talked a little bit about it. But the last 4 years, I've been teaching on a college level. I'm an adjunct lecturer at the University of Illinois, teaching on things from sports PR, social media, advertising and brand strategy, and it has been great to get in front of millennials and understand them, plus also put a lot of my experience to work. I am a proud father of 3 girls. As you can see here, they're all swimmers. And I'm wearing our home swim family, which is Mavericks, if you guys know Mavericks out of Naperville, Illinois. And you know, I wouldn't be a swim dad if I didn't brag about my kids. One of my children is what we call she's our swimmer, our big swimmer. She holds a couple of pool records, which has been awesome. But I also, on the summertime, you know, I put kind of my practice in play by being just our local pool sponsorship chair. So part of the reason I put this together was also because I, in some respects, experienced this. I've experienced this on the local level, but also selling sponsorships and managing sponsorships for the Olympic Committee, I understand on a very high level. But let me, before we get into everything, let me ask a quick question. Hopefully people will participate. If not, it will be a very, very short conversation. Who in this room has the longest tenured sponsor in the room? Okay, I'm going to throw out, somebody have a sponsor that's more than 5 years old? 5 years, okay? More than 10? More than 15? Did I miss it? How long has yours been? 35. 35? Oh my gosh, is it a local business or is it some? Oh, okay. Okay, great. Of course, because it's integrated into your logo as well. So, talk about rights, right? So, like I said before, I think for many, 35 years is incredible. For many of you, I didn't see a lot with the 5-year. And not that that's a reflection on how good or bad you are as a sponsorship, getting sponsorship. But what I'm seeing is that, in a sense, we underlove our sponsors. But if we underlove our sponsors, the other question I'm going to ask is, which sport do you think overloves their sponsors? Anybody want to give a quick guess? NASCAR. If you don't believe that, I want to show you a quick video of a comedian that kind of plays to this.
That's a heck of a race right there. Tony got up into Dale on turn 4. We ended up going 3 wide to the finish line. Obviously, everybody out with the Chevy racing team has been great. We had a great car all week. He gave us a lane on the restart. We got up under him on turn 3. Keselowski ended up in the wall, but we took advantage on the restart. He told us to pit under caution. I said we need 2 tires, just the track bar. Logano was right there. Joey had a fast car. Bobby was there. Dylan was there. Truex. I couldn't get around the 27 car. I got up into the 49 car. Valvoline, Duracell, Cobalt, Craftsman. I came around.
So, you know, that is the natural DNA of a typical NASCAR driver post-race, love on the sponsors. And I would say, you know what, if we start to talk about looking at now, let's figure out how not necessarily over love, but provide more love to the sponsors that you have, we kind of have to start out with, why do people sponsor? Now, this is my own, really deep research into this, and there are many others. But based on what I've experienced, and I'm really, for many of you, I'm talking more on the local level with local sponsors. One is, it's a tax write-off, right? For me, you know what? It's my local Mavericks, a couple $100. Yeah, I'll get the tax write-off. Okay. Or, it's goodwill. My child is on the team. I know if I give the money that it's going to go to an organization who's doing something good for my kid. So that's two, right? The third one, and I think this is one of probably the more important ones, is access, right? A lot of most businesses, most sponsorships, whether they're the McDonald's of the world or the local pizza place, they sponsor you to get access to your families, to your members, to get that opportunity for more business. So those were only three, but those are the three that came up for me that I wanted to share. Now, when we do, and many of you probably most of you have Team Unify, this is what your website looks like. Many of you may not, but where do we give our loves? Our love is right in the corner, right? And that tends to be the limitation of where it's a link through to the sponsor. Or maybe sometimes there's going to be a poster or a flag or something like that at an event where we say, hey, thank you. But what I've seen personally and what I see when I look it out is that there's limited ways that we share as a club what we do for our sponsors. Now, is that bad or good? It is what we know. There's that relationship. And uniquely, 35 years plus their logo looks like Sunkist. Hey, but what I'm trying to talk about today is there's an opportunity to take out the big guns. The big gun is social media. That is what we're doing here. And so why not utilize social media to help leverage that relationship, help put the love where most people are today. Now, keep in mind, you're going to see so many stats today, it's going to make your head spin. So I'm really only going to give you a couple of stats, and this is one of the bigger stats, is you have to understand the target market, whether it's the kids or the adults, the majority of us use social media already. We're all here. We all see that. You're here to get understanding to be better at this. So with that, use it. Use social media. And what I want to talk about is using it creatively. Now, before we get into more of the tactical pieces, I do want to talk a little bit about what I teach as it relates to what I've seen in trends. Every year, I come up with my trend report, and I teach my students this. But these are the things that I've seen, and it's amazing. It changes every year. But one of the things that is really important to know is time shifting. How many of you guys have Netflix, right? How many of you binge watch, right? I just finished binge watching Stranger Things, right? Awesome, right? So time shifting is this concept where we are not part of appointment television anymore. Back in the 90s, if we wanted to watch Seinfeld, Friends, and some of the others, we would sit down at 7 o'clock and clear our calendar with our friends, and we would stick there because there was no DVR. But now, it's all about when I want to consume, how I want to consume, and it's not lined up with any time you could do it. A lot of my students spent the whole weekend binge watching, Stranger Things or something else. And so this is a new normal that we're going into. The next thing is finger swiping. This is a concept or a term I didn't come up with one of my friends at McDonald's did. I'm going to say, we're in what I'm calling the finger swipe generation. And what that means is that the power of decision is now within this little finger. Now, how many of you guys have a 2-year-old that if you gave an iPad to, they'd immediately go, boop, 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 right? All of a sudden, they're doing this stuff. The finger swipe generation, and people are growing up in what we call they're digital natives. they have never grown up without technology, right? Our ability now to say we like something or not like something is like, not like, or whatever the term is. If they want to click thumbs up, thumbs down, swipe up, swipe down, all of a sudden decisions are being made by this one little piece of our body. It has so much power, and will continue to do that because of the way that everything is being developed. So we're now becoming this part of this finger swipe generation. Everything is becoming more visually engaging. And visually engaging, what we're seeing is, like we're seeing now, is we're taking a lot more video. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, a lot of the other speakers are going to be talking about specific platforms. And I'm not going to talk specifically about platforms, but each one of them has really moved to live streaming, drones, all these things. We are moving into a more visually engaged approach, especially because we have higher bandwidth and speed is not as big of an issue as it has been before. It also has to be authentic. I'd probably say about 3 years ago, the video that you would see out there was very professionally done. And you have to spend all this money and make sure it looks good. But we're moving into more authentic looking approaches. More like The Office, or where there's a little jittery, or there's laughing, or it's incomplete, that you see a little bit of the background. People want more authentic looking video. That's why, live, if you've seen the Facebook video commercials, they just say, hey, if you have something to share, turn on your phone and share it. It's not about make sure that you're in the perfect environment and your face looks great and you have the script in front of you. They just say, turn it on and share. The other thing that's really important too is we're now in a mobile-centric environment and world. I was just looking up, I wanted to make sure I had the right stats, but one of the stats is starting in 2014, more mobile phones were being sold than laptops. When that crossover happens, it never goes back. We are becoming more dependent on our phones than anything else. The other stat that I wanted to share was more than half of the people who use Facebook use it through their mobile phones. How many of you guys mostly check on Facebook on your phone, right? Exactly. So that has changed the game in many ways. And so with these social media trends, we have to keep in mind that what we used to know even 3 years ago is changing. And it's important that with these current approaches that with these current approaches that we keep that in mind. Now, what I did is I asked Wendy, give me a list of all the clubs. And so what I did is I went through and I just perused a number of the clubs and I said, let me see what you guys are posting, right? And so what I saw that you're posting is you're sharing just national content, things from USA Swimming, things that you saw, things that seemed kind of cool that had to do with swimming. You're showcasing your winners. You're showcasing swim practice and meet shots, and you're also showcasing meet results. All great things. However, one of the things I did see or didn't see is less than 5%. Actually, as the more I saw, the percentage got a little bit smaller, is that less than 5% of you show any sponsor love, saying anything about the sponsor. And that is, I think, okay, yeah, it's a little disappointing, but what that does mean, especially in 2017, and especially what Matt has been kind of talking about, is this is an opportunity to really rethink what it looks like to integrate your sponsors into your social media. And I want you to think differently. Remember, social media is low cost. Everybody here has a mobile phone. Everybody hopefully can take a picture. If you can't, come and see me afterwards. I'll show you how to use it. You have a built-in audience. You have hundreds of swimmers, and those swimmers are probably better than you on social media. And you have parents as well. And you gotta make sure, remember, this authenticity means you have to be willing to try repeatedly. It's not gonna be, oh, I didn't get the picture right. Oh, I gotta do it again. It's going to be this ongoing throughout the year, getting better and better on how you not only write write-ups or status updates, but also the type of pictures that you have. And then you got to make sure, and this is again about what Matt was talking about. We have to put the sponsor in the center, right? Not to the extent of what John Crist did with NASCAR, but in a sense, we have to start thinking, we have these people who give money to us, and social media is being used. What does it look like to start putting them into the center of the things that we do? So what does sponsored centered mean? It means, and these are 4 that I'm going to go through in terms of the examples. This is where we get a little bit more tactical. Showcase the product, endorse the product or promote the product, have fun with it, and then also use the team, use the people that are part of your club to help you. Now, I understand. I know you're thinking, golly, how am I going to make this happen? I understand. It will evolve if you do this. It's an evolvement. But guess what? We all know now that most of your people are using social media. So asking or extending them into this this state of mind, I think, will be easier than you think. So where's Marlins of Raleigh? Are they here? Hey. How you doing? All right, so what I did is I said, I'm going to look at all these clubs. I'm going to select a club and a sponsor of the club to tactically look at each one of these. What does that look like? To give you guys some ideas of what to do. So what I did is I picked an orthodontist. Do you know this guy? Hopefully you know this guy, right? That's not you, right? Okay. Does the person have a kid on the team? Ah, there you go, see? Bing. All right, so I said, okay, what does it look like to have Campbell Orthodontics be the center of social media? So the first one, showcase products and services. Some of the ideas, create opportunities where the product is featured as the centerpiece of the social media activity. Or, and we see this with other sponsors, is use a hashtag and celebrate your sponsors on one day a week, right? Some of you probably participate in hashtag Throwback Thursday, right? Or Fun Friday or whatever. What does it look like to have one day a week or one day a month to be able to have a sponsor day, right? So some things to do. Video coach or a swimmer visiting a sponsor. Ask a swimmer family who visits to post a photo and a hashtag. Showcase swimmers thanking sponsors during meets. These are, some of them are a little harder, some of them are a little easier. Some executions, just so you see what I kind of came up with. And I made these up. Check out Coach Peggy when she wakes up from a wisdom teeth getting pulled. Hilarious. Those videos are awesome, right? So I wish I had a video to show you. But it's showcasing, hey, we're going to put now the sponsor in the center of our approach. The other one is Marlin swimmer Jake Doe getting his teeth cleaned by sponsor Campbell Orthodontics. Really easy to do. Endorse the product. Take a group shot of all the swimmers who are customers and tag the company. Or show love to the sponsor through specific tagging and hashtagging. Couple of ideas. I put down here in an Instagram post. Check out the great smiles from our team swimmers who use Campbell Orthodontics. How easy would it be to do that, right? Again, you have to match up what that sponsor brings to the table in order to make that happen. Or outfits by Speedo, smiles by Campbell Orthodontics. Hashtag sponsor Thursday. It doesn't mean that you have to create anything new. Sometimes you can just take existing things and add a spin to add into your sponsor as the center of that piece. Burlingame, are you here? Thank you. Great post. So when I was looking through it, Burlingame had this post about GU. Grab a cup of GU hydration lemon tea on your way to the pool today. Thank you for GU for helping BAC celebrate National Nutrition Month. Really easy. I thought it was a great execution. I went, oh, this is awesome. This is what, you could do something like this once every 2 weeks. I'm not asking you to make it every day. It could be overkill, but every once in a while when it makes sense. I thought the picture was great. I don't know if you pulled that off, but I thought it was a great execution. So kudos to you guys. Have fun with the sponsor. Create playful posts or memes that allow sponsors to be in on the joke. Everybody knows what a meme is, right? I'll show you what a moon looks like if you haven't. Make the sponsor the hero of a potentially bad situation. And that is just a play off words. When you're having fun, everybody, you're getting a giggle out of it. So it looks like, you know, Campbell Ortho has caught another marlin. So that, you know, plays off this whole concept of the fish, right? The other one is if I had teeth, I'd go to Campbell Ortho. So it was just my meme, you know. Those are simple things, and sometimes the kids in your teams are the ones who are creating these. And all you're doing is, if you're right, you grab them. There's, you know, I look at it as, you know, copying is a form of flattery. So there are some great ideas that you can pull off of. And then team efforts. Think about this. Many of you have 150, 200 swimmers, maybe 50 to 100 families. I don't know. Some of them are small, some of them are larger. I'm hoping they're large. Mavericks tends to be on the larger side. Ask members to like and post to thank sponsor accounts. What would that look like, you know, to have your member leave positive reviews? As a small business, if I was a local pizza place and all of a sudden 150 people liked my Facebook page, or I got 10 new positive reviews and said, hey, you know what, they're great, they're a sponsor of our pool or our club, but we love the pizza, you know, that helps the business. And then after winners get medals, post photos thanking the sponsors. Something as simple as a Snapchat that says, you know, just say, hey, I got the 4x100 relay, and thanks to Campbell Ortho for, you know, making it happen. That is easy to do. So, things about creating good posts, as I'm wrapping this thing up, is be punny. It's okay. You know, if you're not punny, find somebody who's punny. Use angles. Like the Burlingame one, I thought was great, but don't always think about, I'm just take a quick shot of the person in front. Think about different ways to get angles, because people like angles. If you think about your teenage daughter like I do, they're not just doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. Matt was doing it up here, he was doing that, right? We're all about angles. So use them to your advantage. Make people laugh. It goes with the punny. I think laughter goes a long way. And then use hashtags as well. Hashtags, just like SwimBiz, allows people to be part of the conversation, allows you to contribute to the competition. And then also tag the right people. Make sure with your sponsors, you know, do they have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, a Yelp page? Make sure that your members and your families know how they can support them tactically. And lastly, in terms of sponsor benefits, remember, you're extending their advertising. They love the fact, they will love the fact that you're creating advertising for them that they don't have to do. And they're also, again, this goes back to the access thing. You are giving them better access because you're promoting them, you're encouraging them. You're telling the people, go to the pizza parlor, go use the orthodontics, do those things. It could become viral content, right? I can't tell you, and if there's somebody here talking today that's going to tell you how to create viral content, I will sit in there and watch. But viral content tends to be just happenstance. It's crazy what things come up. But you may hit the gold mine. You never know. And ultimately, and this is kind of where I finish off, is you know what, as a small business or even a medium-sized business, I'm always happy to give money. But at the end of the day, I just want to feel appreciated. I just want to feel like, you know what, these people made the effort to thank me or to think about me above just the minimum stuff. Remember, social media, it's cheap, it's easy. Hopefully you have large groups of people following it. You have these people who can help you. So the last thing before I go is I just want you guys, I'm not going to hold you to it. My encouragement to you is before the week is done is that you will make an effort to post one thing about your sponsor, thanking them in your social media feeds, just to, you know, give them a thanks and make it easy and make that the start of really loving your sponsor and making it sponsored centered.